Hey, how are you? Welcome to my office in the park. This is an improvised office because, we all love nature, isn't it? All right, today we are going to talk about how to succeed as an introvert at work. How to succeed in business as an introvert. How to succeed as an introvert at work. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably guessed I'm, a big introvert, also I think. The reason I wanted to make this video is because we interact differently based on, the way we are in terms of perception and, energy levels. So how to succeed as an introvert at work? Look, there are many personality tests where, people are put in a box. They're introverts or extroverts, and there is some science to that, but I argue that majority of people are not fully introverts, not fully extrovert. They're right in the middle, and I think there's a technical word for that. I think they are called ambiverts. I prefer mesovert because it sounds more funny. To be honest with you, I always thought of myself as being an introvert my entire life. I still do, but I often joke that I'm actually, a mesovert just by the sheer volume of experiences, that have challenged me to, be able to interact and speak my mind in a more extroverted way at times. So let's say you're an introvert, or you're an ambivert or mesovert, that is towards more of an introvert personality type. I can speak from experience. The first big challenge is small talk. How can you deal with people who are more extroverted and they really love their small talk? So I find, first tip, the best way to actually be effective as an introvert with small talk and do it effectively. And the easiest way is to give compliments. Just compliment people, say something nice about them each time you have the chance, and start practicing doing this more often. It's a skill that is the most important skill in business, work included. When you compliment people, you shift the focus from your person to their person, which means you say something nice, you make them feel good, the focus also shifts from you to them, and it's a win-win. And that's my first big tip for how to succeed as an introvert at work. Second tip, always ask questions about the other person. You're in a meeting, or you're just getting to know your colleagues or whatever, especially when you are in a one-to-one meeting, but even in group meetings, ask questions about them, about their role, sometimes about personal questions to get to know them better. Again, just like with the compliments, when you ask questions about the other person, when you ask questions to the other person, to the person in front of you, then the focus shifts from you to them, and then most people love to talk about themselves, and that's great. That gives you an opportunity to shift attention, and then obviously again it's a win-win, because you don't want the unwanted attention, and at the same time you learn something useful about them, and then you build rapport. Third point is, at some point you cannot build effective relationships that are one-sided. So as an introvert, you obviously need to share about yourself, at least a little bit, so that you can build a rapport with other people. So introverts, from experience, they don't really feel comfortable self-promoting themselves. They don't feel really comfortable promoting themselves. So self-promotion for them is like really hard to do some of the times, if not most of the time. So I guess the way I found, the most effective way I found to be able to come out of the shell as an introvert and be able to, speak about yourself, create rapport, is to talk about your hobbies and passions and things you absolutely love to do. So when you do that, your personality shines through, and you get a lot of engagement, just because you'll be talking about something meaningful to you. Obviously not small talk, something that's dear to your heart, and that gives you the right opportunity to create rapport. So when it's your time to build rapport by sharing something about yourself, share something that you generally have an interest in, your hobbies, your passions, your interests, things you look to do in the future, things that excite you. So, story time. As an example, some years back I was working for a company, and we had a team building meeting. We sat in an office. We had a team day, something like that. So we sat in an office, and we went around the table. We had a round table or oval table, and everybody had to share something personal about themselves to help build a rapport and get to know each other. And if you're an introvert, that's like the one of the most scariest thing. So obviously that's it's like, oh my god. So I was, when my turn came, so when it was my turn, I shared that I had a number of side hustles in terms of legal settlements and lawsuits where I was successful, and brought me just under £100,000 in 5 years time. And I was really glad to share this because it was an actual fact, and I was quite proud of it. And I actually see this as a hobby. It's a great pastime that's very profitable, and it was a great really little nugget to share, which obviously felt comfortable to me and brought me increased visibility in terms of unexpected skills and hobbies. Also, what introverts find quite difficult sometimes is to self-promote in terms of talking about the work they've accomplished, the work they've completed. Now, this is very important skill to have and to develop, and I understand it's something to work on. The best stepping stone I see for introverts to actually be effective in the workplace is, and to gain visibility in terms of the work they've delivered, is to set up a weekly status update report. And I have a separate video on that. I'll link it up, where you basically send the reports each week to your direct line manager, and you outline what you've accomplished in the current week, what you're planning on working next week, what are the issues, what are the escalations, obviously what are the milestones completed and tasks completed for the current week. So this is the most easiest way I can think of, where you actually do some self-promotion in terms of showcasing the work you've done. But obviously I suggest each time you complete a project, each time you complete an assignment, each time you complete a task or a milestone, always at the bare minimum, at least send an email in writing to your direct line manager and other people involved, stakeholders, to just communicate the fact that you've achieved that task, you've achieved that milestone, you've completed that. And it could be just a simple email to the effect of, just to let you know, I've just completed X, please find it attached. Please let me know your thoughts and feedback. It's just that simple. So introverts sometimes have a hard time understanding how people who do 50% less than the work they do, they get more chances for promotions and get higher pay increases and so on. The reason is because extroverts, they are very good at promoting the work they've completed. They are very good at self-promotion, and introverts need to be able to self-promote as well, or as much as they complete work. So the rule of thumb ratio is spend 50% of your time doing the work, 50% of your time promoting the work you've done. Obviously, in real life that's not always possible or desirable, but you need to be able to focus as much on self-promotion as on completing the work. Just doing the work is not good enough nowadays. You have to be able to speak and present, to speak to and present the work you've completed, so that you get, you know, more work, you get more opportunities for promotion, you know, pay rise, and so on. So the biggest thing for the biggest lesson, the biggest takeaway for introverts is, you know, introverts usually think that their work speaks for itself, and in real world that's, you know, that's not always you know, real. It's not always true. So it's very important that you do a great work, but also you have to promote it, you have to speak about it. And if you're not comfortable verbalizing it, you can, you know, put it in writing via email if that's easier for you to start with. But, you know, whenever you have a chance to speak of things you've accomplished, work you've done in your work, previous jobs, on the side, you know, in your personal time, that is relevant to showcase your competency, your experience, your expertise, or skills, always take this opportunity. You can start small and build up. It's important that you start. Another tip is always try to make yourself visible as much as possible, not only to your boss's boss, so two management levels up, but also, you know, peers of your direct line manager within your organization. That is because you need to think ahead, you need to plan ahead, so you never know when you're going to need a promotion, and you're going to need allies to support you, and also you don't know when you're going to need, you know, to make a lateral transfer within your organization. So always make a constant effort to build connections and, you know, network as much as you can outside your immediate team, whether it's just a hello or hi, how are you, nice to meet you, I'm new here, you know, at the, well, it used to be the coffee machine or in the, you know, office kitchen, whatever, but, you know, over video conferencing, there are still opportunities when, you know, when you're new to an organization. It's a good idea to start building your network when you are in a new role right away, and you can, you know, use introduction calls, introduction emails. You may need to, you know, sow 100 seeds for have 2 or 3 sprout, and that's okay. Just always be a farmer and never feel under pressure. You never know who is going to be your ally and who is going to be there to support you. So it's good to you know, have a farmer mentality and seed as many seeds as you can, and then in the end a few of them will sprout, and a few of them will come through for you. And the reason why you want to do that, you always want to be able to build a network of sponsors. I mean, at the very least, you should have a strategy in any organization you're in. At any point in time, have at least one strong sponsor. By sponsor, I mean a person who you've built a great rapport with, ideally outside of your immediate team, but it could be your direct line manager or his own or her own boss. It could be another team altogether, and, you know, this person can recommend you for a promotion, can recommend you for a lateral transfer within your organization or maybe outside the organization. So your objective when you are in a company is to spot who is sponsor material and be able you befriend and try, you know, as much as you can to befriend this person. And obviously they have to be a person you resonate with, you have things in common with, because otherwise, I mean, that would be the most difficult task for an introvert to, you know, try to build rapport with somebody they don't like. That would be, you know, mission impossible. But if you find somebody you respect, somebody you admire, and somebody, you know, you interact with even on a occasional basis within your organization that you know, you have some affinity with, and they are, you know, 1 or 2 levels up in terms of the org chart. It's great to, you know, build a rapport in terms of just, you know, ask them about themselves, compliment them, share something about you that, you know, it's something that you really enjoy and maybe a bit unusual. I remember story time again. I remember in one of the organizations I worked, there was the boss of my boss there. She was asked to do something last minute, and then my boss was not around, and she came to me. She said, look, I really need your help with this. This has to be, you know, sent over. This report has to be sent over, or this email has to be answered. I can't remember. This has to be dealt with by the end of today. Please do it. Can you help me out? And I smiled at her and I said, oh, absolutely, no problem. I shine under pressure. And she remembered that. She laughed, she smiled at me, she laughed, and she remembered that. And then since then on, she had me in her mind as somebody who, you know, can deliver under pressure, because obviously I've actually delivered what she asked me to do. And I didn't have to actually say much. I've just said that, you know, short line, I've delivered the work. And then guess what? A few months down the line, she actually recommended me for another role, you know, with another company within the same group. So you see how, you know, just, you don't have to do much. You don't have to overdo it. As an introvert, you can succeed building, you know, awesome rapport. You just need to share something about yourself, compliment people, obviously, you know, deliver the work, and, you know, you create opportunities for yourself for the future. Very important. All right, that's all I've got for you now. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, share, like, and subscribe. That would be very appreciated. It would help me grow my channel organically. And listen, if anything I said here is helpful for you, or you have any other questions I haven't addressed, leave in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And if there's anything that I haven't touched on here that is of interest to you, let me know, and then I'll probably make another video later on this topic. All right, so goodbye for now.